Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. Hey. Yeah, by the time you guys watch this, it's going to be Wednesday. I'm going to be uploading this Wednesday morning. So hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm making it tonight, which is Tuesday night. So yeah, I figured I'd come out here and make a content since I'm going to be burning kerosene. I don't want to be doing it in the heat of the day, and tomorrow is forecasted through the rest of the weekend 100 plus degrees. We have a heat advisory coming in place tomorrow through Monday. Friday will be a little cooler, but only by a handful of degrees and not enough to count. So there's going to be really no reprieve until after Monday. I think Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be cooling off. We're looking at Los Angeles proper hitting 100 degrees, high 90s, 100 degrees, which is abnormal for Los Angeles. It usually, since LA is in the, well, closer to the coast than we are, they do enjoy cooler weather historically. So when heat really hits the downtown area, then you know it's really bad in the valleys, and that's where I'm at. I'm in the San Gabriel Valley, and it's going to be so tomorrow I'm preparing for the worst. It's going to be 100 plus, so that means AC, closed up windows, and shutter them all up and keep it dark and cool in the apartment. So I'm going to be doing as little as possible, and probably not doing a whole lot with electronics, just to make sure the AC stays on and we don't have any rolling brownouts or blackouts. That being said, we're doing content tonight while it's still cozy and not too hot out here. It's actually very mild. It's actually quite nice. So I thought, what a great time to come out and do some content for you guys, which I owe you guys a video of the lighting of the SG lift wire, which is right behind me. So to introduce a few of the participants in the video, we are burning back there a nice big number 2 Defiance Cold Blast, the one I got in Connecticut last year while on vacation. I got it from Lantern Joe. They're out in Connecticut. We stopped by and I met up with him, and I bought that beautiful Defiance and a globe, and I think a Pasadena, City of Pasadena lantern that I recently sold to Willis Miller III. Since he grew up in Pasadena, I felt that he was a good steward for that one. I already have a Pasadena City lantern and also the Water Department of Pasadena lantern. So I think I have enough Pasadena-related stuff. Yeah. Pasadena is only 8 miles away from here. Not even that, really. But it's not my home. And I enjoy Pasadena. There's a lot of things I like about it, but it's not my home. And if they were marked Monrovia, I would definitely hold on to them for dear life. But I love my LA County marked ones, which is kind of all-encompassing, you know. And of course, my City of Los Angeles marked ones because, well, I work for the City of LA. With that being said, let's introduce the other participant in the video, which is this beautiful Dietz Square Lift. 1890s, early 90s, right before they changed the fount design. This is still the earlier pattern from the late 80s on the the 87, 88 patent. So this one has a last patent of 91, so that this was probably made right around 91, 92, give or take, no later than 93. I don't know when they changed the fount style from the 2-piece to the 1-piece with the soldered in bottom, but yeah, that is a great lantern. This is the one that my friends found at that flea market that had the blue globe in it. And so I got a really nice proper globe from Thomas, and we did some trading for it, and he's happy and I'm happy. And it's a really cool marked Dietz number 0 tubular globe, circa late 80s, early 90s. So it's the shorter globe, the shorter number 0 style before they standardized them. So it fits perfectly in that frame, perfectly, just awesome. Anyways, so we got some cool lanterns burning. We got light, but we're gonna light this. Now, you're probably thinking, well, geez, Rob, you didn't clean it up any. You sealed the fount, but you didn't clean it up. That's right, I didn't clean it up. All I did was clean out the inside of the fount so I could seal it and make it hold oil. With that being said, I don't think I'm really going to do too much to it. It has very light, minor surface rust, and it's not threatening the life of the lantern. The integrity of it is not in jeopardy. So I think I'm going to leave it as is for the time being, and it has this really neat old string. It has this really neat old string tied up around the cross tube up there. You see that? And I left that because, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video, but I'll tell it to you anyways. Bear me if I'm repeating myself, but I messaged the seller that I bought it from, and they're in Maine, state of Maine, and I says, hey, just random question, where did you find this lantern? How did you come across it? How did you acquire it? I'm curious. I would love to learn any backstory to it if possible. If you know any more history about it, please, I'd love to know. So they got back to me, and they says that they liquidate estates, they clear out buildings and homes and properties, and that's how they make their money. They clear out these properties and then sell items that they feel they can make money on, which makes sense. A lot of people do that, especially in their retirement years. But anyways, they says, oh yeah, that's what we do, and this was on the property of a very large older home, and there was a barn, and the family there was, they've lived in that area in Maine for a long time. I forget the city that they were in, but this lantern was hanging from a rafter in this old barn. And I know how old this lantern is. It's roughly the 1880s, mid to late 1880s, possibly. No earlier, no later than that. Right in that window. Anyhow, so seeing that old string on there, knowing that it was hanging in a barn in Maine, was really intriguing. And so I was like, well, that's your textbook barn lantern right there, right? A lot of collectors kind of get salty if you use buzzwords like barn lantern, I mean, it's fine for using as a search on, Marketplace or eBay or whatever, because people say, well, it's not a railroad lantern. So what was it used for barns, milking cows, whatever? Barn lantern, makes sense. And of course we see tubulars hanging out in barn sets on old Western TV shows and whatnot. So I guess it makes sense. But for whatever reason, some of the die-hard collectors don't like that term. But I mean, a tubular lantern really is a general purpose lantern. It had many functions. It really wasn't specific to any one type of function. They were used for warning lights on construction sites and roadways, or in barns or homes, or walking out to the outhouse, and late at night or whatever. So it had many functions. It was just a flashlight. In the 19th century, it was technically used as a flashlight. And you needed portable light, you lit a lantern. That's what it was. So, and these are more or less safety style. So if it falls over, they extinguish themselves because of the burner cone and spreader. So yeah, it was a good, smart design. It definitely is. So with that being said, let us prepare to light this. So yeah, I was really kind of intrigued to find out that this was actually found in an old barn, and that's really neat. So I'm happy about that. I was really pleased to acquire this, and now that it's sealed and it's good to go, let's light this thing. So here you guys go, a lighting video of my technically oldest lantern in my collection. It is. Yeah. All right. There we go. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Bring that in for the friends at home. Good to see the flame. I know it's a little dirty. The globe's dirty, but you see the flame looks actually pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's a cool lantern. Really cool lantern. I love this thing. And the more I look at it, the more I like it just the way it is. If I do anything to it, anything at all, I think I'm just going to do a very light WD-40. Just wipe it down. Little Brillo pad. Just a little bit of Scotch pad. Just a little bit. And then clean it off and wipe it down with WD-40 and let it be. That's as most as I'm going to do if I do anything. because the surface rust on it is really minimal. It's not chronic, it's not cancerous, it's not threatening the well-being or structural integrity of this lantern. So it actually looks really cool. Yeah. Yeah, and the more I get into this early stuff, the more likely I am to leave it alone as long as it's not in jeopardy. Makes sense. Because it's come this far through history. And it acquired that. And, to be in the state of Maine, which is, well, more or less a very moisture-ridden place. And it's a lot more humidity, and you get a lot of snow there and a lot more rain. And to know that it was hanging in a barn and didn't really get too rusted out is kind of surprising, really. And technically, this is not my first lantern from Maine. I believe the first lantern I ever bought that came from the state of Maine is my early Monarch. I think so, and that was found in a barn or a structure, I should say, in Maine. And that thing was the cleanest original lantern I've ever seen. It was really in good shape. Still is. It's still perfect condition. It required very, very little cleaning up. Actually, I barely did anything with it except for add a little mother's polish and just bring out a little bit of shine, but it's just perfect. Anyways, this thing is just awesome. I'm enamored with this thing. Anyways, hope you guys are enjoying this lantern burning. And while it burns, I'm going to share something with you. So I was at a friend's house a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday. We did a barbecue and everything, and he introduced me to a friend of his who's a Bonanza fan. Yeah, she's a really cool gal. Does a lot of outdoor hiking and everything, and she's just kind of a real independent soul. Really funny, very easygoing. But she loves Bonanza, and I've become kind of a Bonanza fan as well. So we all hung out and talked about the show and joked about certain episodes that are just downright silly. But we are definitely fans of that program and the cast and everything. And there was a lot of stars that went through those saloon doors and through the Ponderosa. It's kind of interesting to see all the old Hollywood stars that would actually turn up on that show as guest stars. It's pretty fun. But anyways, she has a collection of Bonanza-related merchandise and paraphernalia. And she brought one of these. Yeah, that's from the Ponderosa Ranch, which was a theme park-related type of set. You could go and actually see, the buildings and structures and everything that were like Virginia City and, of course, the Ponderosa Ranch. So this was in honor. Well, you could buy these at the Ponderosa Ranch. There's the logo for the ranch and everything. I think it's a little dark out here, so this camera does not want to focus on the graphics if I bring it in close. No, it's not going to focus, is it? No, it's not. It's not going to focus. Anyways, it's cool though. Still pretty neat. But they're little tin cups you could get there at the Ponderosa Ranch, and get your little cowboy tin cup with the lithographs of the place and the key stars. Now this is after Pernell Roberts left the show. I think he left in the 6th season, something like that. Anyways, so yeah, it's just Dan Blocker, Lauren Green, and Michael Landon. But yeah, it's a fun show, and I've been watching Bonanza mainly because it reminds me of my grandfather, and he loved that show. He always had it on, and when I was a kid and he was watching it, I never really got into it. And it's funny because I liked the 19th century. I watched Little House on the Prairie because my mom watched it, but I loved about that at that time I already was into kind of antique lanterns. I liked old lanterns, and I liked some aspects of the Old West, but I wasn't into the cowboy stuff as much, which sounds funny. It's like, how can you like the Old West without the cowboys? I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand, right? You can't have one without the other, right? Well, yeah, true. But, when you're a kid, you're just stupid. You know what you like, and everything else can lump it. But anyways, so since I got into the Western stuff a little bit more since my grandfather died, I've been kind of revisiting some things that he liked, and it helps me remember him, and I miss him. I do. So I remember those times I had with him, and you know, the cowboy fixation he had was definitely very real. But this, I know he would have loved. I know he would appreciate the Ponderosa souvenir cup from the ranch. I don't think he ever made it there. I know he would have loved it. I never been there, but yeah, I think he would have totally enjoyed it. But anyhow, Heather gave me 2 of these, and I really am touched that she gave me 2. These are really cool. So I have one with just the main cast after Purnell left, and I have another one that has Purnell Roberts on it. So Adam is represented. So that's pretty cool. But that's in the house next to my grandfather's picture. Yeah. And this one stays out here. Has a fun little piece of tin with all the other tins, because I have a lot of tins. You've seen my shelf. I have a lot of old tobacco tins and, you know, Hercules blasting cap tins and coffee tins and all that stuff. I love old tins. It's good stuff. But anyways, so there we are. The S.G Steam Gauge and Lantern Company lift wire, circa 1880s, mid 1880s, I'd say, easily. Second generation lift wire. The earlier ones had a different design. The lift tab was 2 wires looped together, where this is a flat piece of steel that's curved at the top. And this down here, the earlier lift wires had 2 loops that came off the globe plate that went around the air tubes as a guide. I'm sure some of you might have seen pictures of those posted on the group. This one is definitely where the guide wires are attached. Well, they actually make a loop. They're attached to each other. They make a loop, and then the globe plate is hinged on the edge of the loop that goes around the front of the burner. So it's an interesting design. In the daylight, I'll show you I'll take it apart and show you how it's all put together. It's kind of interesting, really. But it's a cool lantern, and I love it, and I'm really honored to have it and be its caretaker for the time being. It's not going to leave the collection anytime soon. No, I like it. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy making them. Like I said, it's going to be 100 plus outside tomorrow, so you'll be enjoying this video in hopefully a cool place, and I will definitely be laying low and staying cool myself. So that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Stay cool wherever you're at, or if you're in a cooler place, stay warm. Be comfortable is the main goal, right? Absolutely. Well, have a good one, and we will see you guys again maybe Friday with a little luck. I think Friday might work out. Okay, sounds good. Take care. Have a good night and a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.